we're always more inclined to go towards something when we see the edges. That's your comfort zone. For you to truly start swimming, you're gonna have to go somewhere where there ain't no edges. There ain't no comfort zone for miles and miles on out. You're drowning. You cannot swim. But one day you decide to go to the neighborhood pool to take a dive. You saw everybody else swimming in the neighborhood pool. And so you decided to take a swim. You're drowning. One day, God decides to throw you in the ocean. How you got to this ocean, you're not too sure. God decides to throw you in the ocean. You're swimming. You're treading water. For some reason, you're on top of what you were struggling to get above before. This is your gift. I got something for you. I want to ask you a question. Are you swimming in an ocean of opportunity, or are you mingling in the neighborhood pool? You see, the neighborhood pool doesn't have, or it doesn't take much faith to jump into the neighborhood pool. You can see the edges. You can see where it starts. You can see where it stops. So a lot of times it's appealing to jump into the neighborhood pool. And when God throws you in the ocean, you can't see the end. You can't see the start. A lot of times it's so scary, you don't want to jump into it to begin with. Intrinsically, you know it's for you, but you don't want to jump into it because of how vast it is. Are you swimming inside your ocean of opportunity? Proverbs 13 verse 12. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Let me talk to you for a second. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times we put ourselves in situations that seem appealing because it's appealing for somebody else. Like you see how good that spotlight looks. So a lot of times we want to go and jump inside. We want to immerse ourselves in the neighborhood pool that was never meant for us. But when we finally jump into that pool and we start drowning, we're trying to latch on to the end. You ever been in a neighborhood pool and you know you can't swim, so you by the edges? I remember when I growing up, I couldn't swim for nothing. Still probably can't. I used to stick closely to the edges. You know, I don't go too far from the curb, but I always came back to the edges. It was my comfort zone, right? You stay near what you're comfortable with. Here where I'm going with this. We're always more inclined to go towards something when we see the edges. That's your comfort zone. For you to truly start swimming, you're gonna have to go somewhere where there ain't no edges. There ain't no comfort zone. For miles and miles on out. They exist, but you can't see them. But that's where you'll be able to swim. That's where you'll be able to flourish. That is your ocean of opportunity. You're about to immerse yourself in a process that when you finally do learn it, it has its limitations. Like you're going to end up camping out at the neighborhood pool. It's not big enough for you. It's not big enough for you. Your comfort zone is not big enough for you. You got to go out in the ocean and swim with the sharks. You got to swim with the critters you know nothing about. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. But when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. When the desire cometh. You're drowning over here because you're having trouble finding your fire and your passion to keep going, to keep learning the process. It's a struggle for you. So even though you can see your comfort zone, you still can't learn how to swim in the neighborhood pool as efficiently as you should be able to because there's no hope. There's no desire. But for whatever reason, when God throws you in the ocean where you don't see no end, there's this passion burning inside you to keep going. There's this fire that allows you not to stop. That's your desire. Your desire is over there where you can't see the edges. That's where your hope is. That's your tree of life. Your tree of life is over here. Your tree of life is getting nourishment in the ocean. Would you rather be underneath the shade of a tree as getting its nourishment from the ocean or getting its nourishment from the neighborhood pool? Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. Today I want you to find your tree of life. If you're exercising your faith by going towards something that you can see the edges to, your comfort zone, it's not big enough for you. I need you to stretch it. God wants you to stretch it. God has already put you in that ocean. You felt it. You know what your passion feels like. Nobody has to tell you this, but you're scared to swim in it because you may know that you can survive over there, but everybody else doesn't see your boundaries. They don't see the comfort zone. They don't see the consistency. They don't see what's going to keep you going through. They don't see this. All they see is the limitations. They don't see how God is going to help you survive in this ocean. So a lot of times, because we have to explain to everybody else around us, we don't go towards that. Your hope has already came. If you're watching this video today, you're a leader. And as a leader, I need you to get out the neighborhood pool and go swim in the ocean. Get out the neighborhood pool today and go swim in the ocean. That's where your tree of life is. And if you do that, if you go towards your tree of life and you start swimming in your ocean of opportunity and get out the neighborhood of limitations, I'm a firm believer that your life will be changed. See you in the next video. We out. My actions were saying otherwise. And I say that today because I want to ask you a question. What are you praying for that your actions are contradicting? What are you praying for?